So we're talking about money in this little mini series. And when I started out my first business back in 1996, I started, I think it was $35 was my total investment. And that was for a mailbox at Mailboxes, etc., to rent it for 3 months. And I'd spent no money on my website. I had a free website. It was, the name of my internet provider /tilde J Walker. That was my website. Back then, people would go to a website like that. You could get listed at Yahoo like that. I didn't have a domain name. I didn't have web hosting. I used a free email list. That's all. I didn't spend anything. And after about 3 months in the business, actually, it seemed like things were going to start to go, and I made a few dollars. So I bought a domain name. Back then, it cost $70 to buy a domain name, true story. And then I got web hosting. It actually cost $40 a month to get web hosting. So some things have gotten a lot cheaper. I got an email list host. I can't remember if that was like 10 or 20 bucks a month. So I was spending $50, $60 a month for my business. And I was able to build the business up because it was purely via email. And there's minimal hosting, and build the business up. So we were making $200,000-$300,000, which was pretty amazing because the cost didn't go up at all. They stayed at that, whatever, $50, $60 a month. And I had my merchant fees. So when we made credit card sales, we'd pay whatever, 3%. So basically, our profitability was really high. It was like, our margin was like 96% or 95%. And when I did that, there was no accounting in my business because almost every dollar was profit. So I didn't have to account for anything. Basically, at the end of each year, I would do a total of all my expenses, and then I would subtract that. And it was a glorious time. It was a very, very profitable time. Markets were much smaller back then. The largest of our kinds of businesses back then was, a few $100,000 a year. So there was less people online, less people buying, but things were simpler and margins were generally a lot higher. So that was all great. Things have changed since then. It's more expensive to be in business. Most of us are spending money to pull in traffic. And accounting has gotten a lot more important because margins have dropped. Businesses are much bigger, much, much bigger than they were back then. Markets are bigger, more people are buying online. So those are all great news. The ability to grow a large business and do it quickly is way beyond what it ever was before, but it also means margins have come down. So you have to account for things. Accounting is important and far more important than when I started. And holy cow, do we have a lot of noise going on in the background, but I'm just going to plow along because that's what you do. So what I'm saying is, most entrepreneurs I know, accounting is not their first love. Most people that are starting their business out, especially an online business, they are not experienced with accounting or finance. It's not what they love. In fact, it's the last thing they want to do. Well, actually, legal is the last thing they want to do, and accounting is the second to last thing. But it's important. It's important because we're all spending more to acquire the customer. Margins are dropping. Business is great. That's all fantastic. But as margins drop, risk goes up. And so you have to stay on top of your accounting. So even if you're just starting out, you need to think about getting a bookkeeper earlier rather than later. You don't have to hire a full-time person. There's all kinds of people you can hire part-time, but the bookkeeping and the accounting is important. Count the dollars. Pay attention to the dollars. You don't want to be the person that has this great month in sales and at the end of the month figure out that you're actually, you don't have any money. You can't make payroll. You can't pay your bills. You don't want to be that person. So pay attention to the dollars. So I'm Jeff Walker. Wherever watching this, scroll down, leave a comment for me, and let's go get them this week.